And thank you. You know, this pandemic is actually giving us that opportunity and giving you guys that opportunity to really kind of shake things up. And so I'm excited to have Jenny Stotts on the call this evening. She is a, you know, she should be wearing her Rotary cape because she's a superhero for sure. She's certainly world famous. She's been all over the world talking about membership and talking about her Rotary story and her Rotary happy. So we're extremely happy to have her here, and she is going to really share with us probably two things. When you looked at your binder, there were several bullet points in the binder talking about just the club membership committee. So, you know, certainly I wanted to, hopefully there might be some membership chairs on the call this evening, but I think Terry's a membership chair. He's on the call this evening. Hi, Terry. But there was also in your binder a health check and some other references. So these are terrific tools as you hear Jenny's presentation and start thinking about how you're going to engage your current members and how you want to grow your club. The health check is a tremendous tool, and there's also on the Rotary website, there's another tool that I think is a membership, what's it called? Membership satisfaction survey. That if you have not seen that, I highly recommend that you get on Rotary International and pull that up. As I was an AG, I had a couple of my clubs actually do that satisfaction survey as they were kind of moving through some transitions and trying to make some decisions. And that satisfaction survey actually was instrumental in them reworking their projects and reworking some of their fundraisers and just really kind of changing their meeting model. So it's a great tool for you to use. So I encourage you to kind of look at those resources. And like I said, the health check is in your binder. So with that being said, does anybody have any questions before we get into the membership? I kind of just jumped right into that. Does anybody have any questions on previous topics or in previous materials that we've talked about before we move on? Is everybody good? Silence? It must mean everything is cool. So without further ado, I would love to introduce our superhero, Jenny Stotts. Jenny is, as I mentioned, our district membership chair, and she is a charter member of the Rotary Club of Athens. She's a past president, and she's also a past AG. So she's been in Joe's and Diane's and Jack's shoes and did an awesome job. She is also a Paul Harris Society member and a Bequest Society member. And her favorite Rotary activities are RILA and Paddle for Polio. And so if you're looking for a project, we're probably moving out of the Paddle for Polio season, I'm just thinking. But if you're interested in finding out how you can add another project to your club's activities, she certainly would love to share that with you. Jenny is actually the executive director of the Athens CASA and GAL program and the original coordinator of Southeast Ohio CASA. She is a licensed social worker and a trauma specialist and trained forensic interviewer, which I'm extremely intrigued by that. We might have to have a conversation about that because I would love to hear more about that. And she's also devoted her career to serving foster children. Jenny is recognized in her community and region as a Young Professional of the Year. She's a Community Leader of the Year and Ohio's 5 under 35 featured alumni. She's described herself simply as mother, wife, friend, social worker, Rotarian, and then troublemaking millennial. And I don't know where the troublemaking part comes in because I've never seen her actually cause trouble. But anyway, without further ado, Jenny, you've got the floor.
So thank you. Thanks everyone for letting me steal some of your time this evening to talk about membership. I do have kind of a simple little PowerPoint that I want to share. Let me connect all the interwebs here. Okay, and hopefully you all can see that. So I also shared in the chat, and I think MJ is going to email it out as well, but I shared in the chat a quick guide that I'd actually developed for president-elect training this past year, so your current presidents. And it's just a collection of my favorite resources and tools. Some of my most frequently visited websites, the Health Check is one that's on there. It's actually one of my favorite tools that Rotary has developed for membership development. So I hope you'll check that out and maybe file that away or something so you'll have a quick access to all of those things. So I'm just going to talk for maybe 10 or 12 minutes or so, but I wanted to let you know a little bit about the status of membership in our district and kind of the strategy that we've developed at the district to support clubs and to grow our membership. So I thought it'd be important just to start with a number. This is the number as of about an hour ago, the number of members in our district. And if I had given this presentation back in April, that number would have been about 85 higher or so. So we did suffer a net loss in our district as we transitioned over the year. I was kind of bracing myself for a much bigger drop, but what I'm most excited about is that we have clubs in our district that have already added new members to our roles in this new Rotary year. So that's pretty exciting stuff. And we'll talk a little bit more about what this number means and what it means for clubs, because I think most of you would be able to right off the bat tell me about how many members are in your club. So I want to kind of dive a little bit deeper than the number, but I do think it's worth noting. So a lot of the district level goals around membership center around engagement and growth. So that's kind of what I'll talk to you about the strategy that we have. And so when we talk about growing Rotary, you know, it's always on our minds. It's one of the goals that you'll be setting to prepare for your year as president. You'll set a goal for how many new members you want to recruit into your club. And that's great. And I think we should continue talking about the numbers, but I also think that we shouldn't lose sight of, you know, why are we growing? Why is it important to grow? Why does it matter for us to grow? Now, I would love to say it's because, you know, MJ is going to be serving as district governor when all of you are present, and you just, president, you throw some really big numbers up on the scoreboard, but because we all want to see that happen. But I think, you know, let's unpack that number a little bit of why are we growing? So you're going to help me answer this. I actually ask this question nearly every time I talk to a group of Rotary people. But if you could answer in the chat box, why are you a member of Rotary? So why'd you join? Why'd you stay? And even though District Governor-elect MJ is on the call, you don't have to try and impress her. It can just be the quickest thing that comes to your mind. Why are you a member of Rotary? To do good, thank you. Service. Yeah, these would be think like text messages. What would you quickly text someone if they said, hey, why are you in Rotary? Service, be more involved in the community, service projects, service, camaraderie, fellowship, service to my community and beyond, philanthropy. Awesome, meeting new people. So I don't want to say that I can predict the future, but I knew you guys were going to say service. Now, sometimes it's the happy hours, sometimes it's the fellowship and the friendships, but I knew that you all were going to say service because I've asked this question to, I don't even know how many clubs at this point or how many districts at this point, dozens or more, hundreds maybe, I don't know. I'd have to look back at my calendar, but it's always service. And people join and people stay in Rotary because of the good that we can do and the people we do it alongside. So I think that's important for us to remember because that's why we need to grow. Rotary needs to grow because it expands our capacity to do good in the world. That's really the driving force behind the way that I've looked at my new role as the district membership chair, is really looking at, you know, why do we need to grow and really staying focused on that. It's because we need to expand our capacity to do more in our communities, to do more with our connections around the world. And I just think it's important. And I hope that as you settle into you know, your lives as the presidents of your club and leading your clubs or whatever you do in Rotary, I hope that you'll always take a moment to think back of that, think back about why it's important, why is Rotary a priority for you. But even better, my challenge to you, particularly if you're a new club leader, is to ask the members of your club that question. So whether individually or collectively, but just have conversations about that and take their temperature. And it's a good way to evaluate, are they still getting what they want and need out of Rotary? Are they still able to accomplish that good, accomplish that service, accomplish those relationships through Rotary? So I think it's important. And it's how I think is our most sustainable, I think it's our most sustainable way to grow Rotary clubs. And it's really focusing on creating those meaningful and impactful membership experiences. It's what Goofy Jenny calls a Rotary happy, which is just when you're so excited about something that you can't help but share it. And I invite you to think about a time, you know, here recently, and maybe you've gotten takeout from a restaurant and you tried something new on the menu and it was amazing. It was delicious. You loved it so much. I bet you told somebody about it. I bet you called up Joe and said, hey, Joe, I just went to this great new place. It was so good. You have to order takeout from there. You have to try this. Or if you've read a book and you say, Chuck, I just read this book. I really, really want you to read it. You're going to love it. Here, borrow my copy, right? We do these things with each other. If I start a new Netflix series that I stumble upon and I know that my friend MJ would just love it, I'm going to say, MJ, we should watch this together. Let's watch this together so we can talk about it. I know you're going to love it. So there's actually some science behind that. There's some biological science about why we respond that way. It's because we're invested in the happiness of the people that we care about. So when we see someone we care about experiencing joy or experiencing happiness or experiencing success, we have releases of serotonin and dopamine, those kind of feel-good chemicals or neurotransmitters in our brain that make us feel good. So let's just apply that science to Rotary. So when we really engage and energize and empower our existing members to be excited about what they're doing, to be fulfilled about it, that suddenly becomes very attractive to people who have not yet found Rotary or who are looking for a way to serve their community. So I don't want to belabor the point, but I hope that it's something you'll think about. And it really plays into the development of how I've looked at membership in our district and kind of the strategy that, you know, when I first talked to District Governor Steve about what his goals were, and he has some big goals. He has high expectations for membership in our district, and he has a lot of creative ideas about it. So when I thought of that goal and how we could develop a strategy to help meet that goal and move us towards that mark, I really found myself focusing on this idea of engagement as the vehicle to growth. So I'm going to just break down a little bit of what we're doing with the district membership team and what support I can offer to all of you as you head into your year as president. So with regards to engagement, there's a lot of new tools coming out about onboarding and engaging new members. We have tons of resources that are newly available on our district website. Some of them are great things. I've been talking to clubs all around our district, and if they have a great onboarding procedure or something like that, making sure that that gets shared with other clubs, because you all are our district's best assets of like the great work that you're doing in the district. I also think one way that we can engage members is through leadership development. I think that's an undertapped value of Rotary to its members. And I put this near new member onboarding because we as a district have struggled with retention at the 1.5 year mark or about the 18-month mark. So we have a disproportionately high number of people who are exiting Rotary at about 1.5 years. And so what I think that means is that we probably got them onboarded, we probably welcomed them. And I think a lot of our clubs are really good at welcoming new people into the door. And then of course we have our tenured folks who are, involved in leadership and have been leading projects for a long time. So I ask you to just kind of take care of those people who have been in Rotary for about 1 year. That might be the time to start onboarding, upcycling them through your leadership channels, inviting them to lead a project, to join a committee or something like that. So I think those are some cool points to keep in mind as you head into your year as president. Same thing, using your committee systems. I think that's one way to make the presidential role a lot more manageable, is to use the existing committee systems, start thinking about them now. Because not only does it help you as president to have a good team supporting the work of the club, it's also a great way to prepare your next leaders and your, next couple lines of leadership in your club. And then of course, always to make sure that you're connecting with members, but also that they're getting a chance to connect with each other. So as this meeting was starting, I got on this meeting, about 10 minutes early, and there was lots of connecting and chatting and, oh, I like your room, or I like this backdrop, and making sure that you create space for that and leave the space for that. We also engage through service. And so one thing you can do is to continue your current service projects, or maybe get creative with adapting them. We also have a growing list of what I'm calling pocket projects, but they're kind of flash projects available on the district website. And that's the maintaining engagement page. So there are right now, I think about a half a dozen ready to go service projects with outlines for any club to kind of take them and adapt them to implement them in your community. There are going to be a few more being added in the coming weeks. I was so inspired by the fall seminar this past weekend that Dana really, and her training team really helped bring together. But I reached out to a few of those project partners about developing some outlines for clubs if they wanted to participate or implement a project, they could do so really easily. I also think it's important to look forward in the future right now, to be planning for future projects. And, I don't think now's the time to necessarily play it safe either. MJ was saying, take advantage of all this flexibility that we've been thrust into. So I say plan for big projects, plan for a multi-year project. I think, get those big ideas out and talk about them. I also think assessing the needs of your community is an important way to engage through service. It's also a good way to engage your members, because you can reach out to that small business owner in your club and say, what's going on in the small business community right now? You can reach out to the person who works at the food pantry. What's going on right now? What needs are you seeing? And it can be a great way, one, to engage that member, but also can give you some inspiration for projects. Another part of the strategy is to connect. So those are some of the things that the district has available to you. One is the district membership facilitation project, which we call the membership project. And it looks a little different than when it was first implemented. It has grown and evolved with the pandemic happening. But this is where we will sit down, I or someone from the membership team will sit down and basically go through a strategic and kind of comprehensive conversation about your club, the strengths in your club and the opportunities for growth in your club, and then make an action plan and help support you through that. So if you're interested in doing that or looking to do that in the future, please just get in touch with me directly and we can work on scheduling that. We also have the membership leads, which is how people that find Rotary out in the interwebs get connected to us. We have a new membership leads coordinator for the district. Her name is Becky Filer. And so she's going to be in a more personal way, connecting with those leads and getting them matched up with the right club. But we're also working on a video tutorial on how to manage a lead when you get that email that says you have a membership lead. Well, now what? So we're gonna work on that for you. Of course, all the resources and guides that I mentioned. And I'm sure MJ and I'm sure your binders have alluded to this, but there's tons of training centered around membership coming from Rotary International. There's tons of stuff in the Learning Center, and then there's a lot of written guides too. So I hope you'll check that out. And finally is the strategy to adapt, which we've all become very familiar with. I think the swanky thing to say is pivot. We've been pivoting. But we adapt through club flexibility. As you know, Rotary has really changed the rules a lot for us. And there's you have a lot of flexible options right now. So I think it's a great time to assess your club, assess what's working, assess what small little stretch points might happen for you to maybe reach more people or reduce some barriers. So it's a cool time right now to be flexible, and Rotary is behind you on it. I think, just to kind of assess, what traditions still have value in your club and what's working. This is also a really cool time to observe other clubs, because it's so easy to observe other clubs right now with the virtual meeting format. So you can observe them certainly within our district. You can still get on the district website and find the listing of meetings and who's in charge of what meeting and, you know, who's the president, so you could reach out and get the details to connect. But you can also observe clubs from other districts in the United States or just looking around the world. I've like seen so many fun games that are happening during Zoom meeting, particularly if you're still meeting virtually, which I think the majority of our clubs have some virtual component going on. And, you know, we're all looking at how we can make the Zoom meetings kind of more feisty or, you know, spice them up a little bit. So that's a really great way to just connect and hear what other people are doing. You can, you know, there's no such thing as ripping off ideas in Rotary, right? We're all sharing ideas and kind of growing together. So I'm happy to take any questions. I know you all have a breakout activity, so I don't want to take up any of your time. But if there are questions, I'm happy to have them, or ideas that you want to share. And then I also, there's my contact information.
Jenny, we did have a question on the chat. Somebody wanted mention again the website that you talked about with the flash service options. Was that going to be on DACDB? Is that what you were talking about, the flash service project?
It's actually on our district website. So if you go to rotary6690.org, and it's the membership tab. So I think it's rotary6690.org/maintaining-engagements. It's in the quick guide that I had shared at the top there. There's a link to it at that file that's in there. But let me see if I can just find it really quickly and just share the direct hyperlink.
Good. So while she's doing that, does anybody have any questions for Jenny? Any challenges you'd like to throw at Jenny? She's great at solving problems. He has great insight.
Rick beat me to it. He got that website in there faster than I did. Thanks, Rick.
Well, Jenny, you did such an awesome job. Doesn't appear to be any questions. So Jenny, you're going to be here the entire session, right? So if anybody thinks of a question maybe later on, we could ask you or put them in the chat. If you're not comfortable saying it out loud, certainly put it in the chat.
Yeah,
and we can address that.
To reach out to me directly as well. I'm happy to share. I definitely recommend the quick guide and checking out the new, we really build up a lot of the membership section of the Rotary District page. So I hope you'll check that out. And we are going to start doing, I surveyed membership chairs, and it sounds like most of them want to have meetings on a regular basis. So we're going to start a quarterly membership chair meeting as well. So we'd love for you to pass that information along.
Yeah, you've got at least one membership chair on the call. So Terry, says Terry from Short North.
Okay, awesome.
Hey, Terry. Terry's the membership chair from the Short North Club, so he joined us. So
hello, everybody. Yeah, I think the membership chair quarterly meetings via Zoom would be an awesome deal for all of our clubs. I think, I mean, just sharing information is going to be just very, very beneficial.
Well, thanks, Terry.
Excellent. Good. So something that I really loved that Jenny did mention was the Rotary story. And as being president, you are basically, you know, you're going to be the leader of the club, and you will be setting examples. So the best way to engage and to bring enthusiasm is to share that why. Why am I a Rotarian? Why am I here? Share that with your club members and have your club members share their whys. And so if you can generate that enthusiasm and that excitement, when you know, not only is that going to keep your members engaged, but it's also going to allow any visitors that might be either online or in person, they will feel the energy of the club and they'll want to be a part of it. So it's just kind of a natural thing. So I encourage you to kind of think about your Rotary story and think about your why, and certainly share that with your club on a regular basis. And your why might change. You know, we're all saying service, but there might be something that happens, you know, during your experience that enhances it, and you want to share it with your club. So as president, you'll want to continue to kind of share that story and remind them of why they're there, or have them as your members share with the club. Maybe you include that in part of the meetings. You know, my why for why am I here and why do I stay kind of thing. So Okay, so in efforts to keep us kind of on schedule, what we're going to do now is go into a breakout session. So in your binders, you should have the first breakout session. It's about the host a luncheon. So the Rotary Club hosts a luncheon. So Terry, you don't have this binder, so you'll have to just kind of fly by your pants on this one. So Dana's going to put people in breakout groups. If I could have the AGs just hold back, don't accept, and then Dana will pop you into a group so that you can help facilitate, if need be, the conversations. So we'll be in those breakout sessions probably about, let's do 10 minutes, Dana, and then we'll come back and then have about a 5-minute share, and then depending on the time, there's another breakout in your binder, and we will also do that one. One of them is kind of a growth conversation, and the other one is an engagement conversation. So hopefully we'll have time to do both. So, so Dana, if you want to go ahead and push everyone to their meeting, that would be great.
Yeah, you should be receiving a pop-up on your screen and just click join.
Oh, here we are.
Do you see a pop-up? Everybody see a pop-up on their screen?
I X'd mine out. So, yep, we still have Darla and Bryce still need to go to a room.
So Bryce, do you see a pop-up on your screen? You might have to minimize your Zoom because it might be kind of behind it.
So you want me to go ahead and just join one of these breakouts?
Not you, Bryce.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
it's Bryce with a B.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bryce.
It
Yes.
said right, but
Yeah.
I couldn't
Yeah.
see him on the screen.
We didn't say prices, right? We.
Okay,
So
so
Joe
I'm
has
gonna,
gone to.
yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
start moving some DGs to the rooms.
AGs, Dana. We love you all to be DGs. If that's in your, let me know. We're looking for some candidates, so just let me know.
Sorry.
Diane's like, no. Jack's not making any kind of expression, so maybe he's on the list. Jack?
Jenny, do you mind if I put you in a group? Thank you.
I don't know why I'm signing it. Yes, that's fine.
So you probably got a pop up then. Diane, I think maybe you've got a pop up, you know?
I had it and then I X'd it out because MJ said to X them out.
It's okay. It's my fault, Dana. Sorry.
Okay. Price, I just sent you one too. Jack, I'm sending you one. So you guys should all have a pop-up. It might take just a second. I also did find that, MJ, where you can automatically end the meeting, the breakout at 10 minutes.
Okay.
So put it in and we're gonna try it.
Excellent. Good,
Yeah.
good.
Got
Good, good. So we should probably pause the recording, maybe.
Yes, we should. Thank you.
Fire.
We talked about how it's a natural and it's a great idea to have something like this, and it seems to profile like our local Chamber of Commerce's business person of the year. Now we've got in Westerville, I'm at the Noon Club, we have a big crossover between the chamber and the two clubs, as is natural, I believe. And a lot of the members are in the Chamber of Commerce as well. But obviously recruiting from the business person of the year thing would be a natural. We also talked about doing a little bit of membership spotlight on ourselves. And me and the guy from Zanesville, our clubs fine you if you mention your business because we're nasty and vindictive. No, we just have sometimes you can stand up and give a happy buck and mention what your business is up to, or what your an award that an employee won, or something like that, or that your kid won. Or you could get fined by our Sergeant at Arms, who anytime that you are a person of the year, or you're in the news or something, will fine you, $5 for our foundation.
Good. Well, that's awesome. Thank you. And I love and Jenny commented also in the chat, the membership spotlight. That's a great way to engage members. And if you've got new members that don't know some of your older members, it's a great opportunity to reintroduce your club members to some of those long-standing members that have been there for maybe that 8 years or 10 years, and introduce those to some individuals that may not get the chance to to chat with them while they're at a meeting or on a Zoom. So that's an awesome idea. I got time for maybe one more share. Anybody else? I've got 2 screens, so make sure I'm not missing anybody. Does anybody else have their hand up? Would love to share. Or if you've got a great idea and you're more comfortable putting in the chat, please do that too. That would be awesome. All right, kids. We're all going to have a cup of coffee, or I'm going to send everybody some woohoo signs so we can all get jazzed up here. Yes, Casey says, yes, send me a woohoo sign. I can make that happen. All right. So then what we're going to do now is we're going to go back in. This should be a different, might be some different individuals in your group. So we're going to go back, Rick, into the breakout session. AGs, don't worry about it. We're just going to randomly send you this time. And if there's more than one of you and you want to leave and go to a different group, just go ahead and leave the group and come back out. And then Rick will put you in a different breakout. But we're going to do the engaging your members in your workbook. Again, another 10 minutes, and then we'll do another 3 or 4 minute share, and then you'll be done. So, Rick, if you could send everybody out, that would be awesome. See you in 10. There's Bryce. Uh-oh. Excellent. Thank you. Oh, we've only got about half of them. Here we go.
First
Yay,
one back.
Diane!
The first one back has to present.
That was
That's a good idea.
Oh, no, you're fine. So did we lose a bunch of people? Or are we just not getting them
No,
back yet, Chuck?
They technically have 1 minute after we hit close.
Oh, okay. Okay. Everybody just got excited to come back.
Yeah. We have 20 here.
Yeah, they're coming now. Excellent. Welcome back, everyone. Was that exciting? Lots of great ideas. So we have a couple of minutes. Is there a couple of persons that would like to maybe give us a 1 minute kind of wrap up of what you guys talked, or a great idea to share with the group? Anybody? Anybody? Somebody? Dave, you want to do it, right? Dave Jones?
AJ, it was in our group and he raised his hand, so I'll let him go.
Okay, perfect.
I was going to nominate Dave or Bob Gibson too for our group.
Excellent. Okay, Bob?
Yeah, I will, Joe. I was going to nominate you, but you did it last time. So,
Right.
we're all experiencing, all clubs of different sizes, we're all experiencing the same thing. Zoom is difficult for many of our members to really get engaged. We have been slowly but surely, we had a service project this weekend, socially distanced with masks. So that was helpful. But in general, to engage membership and to engage new members, one of the ideas that somebody in our club came up with maybe four years ago, which has really worked very, very well, and I don't know how well it's been publicized out there, is the new members get together and pick their charities that we do our Happy Bucks to. And it really gets our new members engaged. I mean, it gets them going. We actually do require each new member to be on a committee. So, that's helpful. But, in this time frame and the discussion back and forth here, we just had the charities voted on by our new members, and the discussion back and forth was incredible. Again, you could tell they were very, very well engaged. So, that's what it's about.
That's awesome. So what you're saying is maybe have the new Rotarian class for maybe that year come up with a project or an organization to support, and then maybe fund them and give them a couple of dollars, like you're funding it through the Happy Bucket. That's a great idea. So we maybe have time for one other share if anybody wants to do that. So AJ, was that you?
Sure. So we talked about, first of all, just finding out the reasons why this club is losing members. We can poll or do a survey of both current members and the members who left, to kind of find out why they left, and address the issues that way. And then also for the annual projects, trying to get more members involved. It can be hard when you have your members who have done the same projects and the same tasks year after year, but trying to have them mentor some of the other members and almost coming up with a succession plan for those projects to get other members engaged.
Love that. Love that. So I know that there might be some clubs out there already doing some sort of a mentorship, and you may be doing that right now, actually, for members that are not necessarily engaged. Your club may be doing some sort of a mentorship now where you're having, maybe a hybrid meeting where you've only got about, maybe 25% of what you normally would have altogether between the in-person and the Zoom, and having board members or members of your club calling those individuals that you don't see. That kind of helps make that connection. So awesome. Well, we're at 6:01, so I don't want to go over. I'm already over, but I don't want to go over too much. So I won't talk too much longer. I just do want to reiterate, and I know that I shared this with you in previous Zoom meetings, is that your Rotary International President, Shekhar Mehta, I already know that membership is going to be a key initiative for him. And so I think I've shared with you, but it's each one bring one. So as you're planning your membership plan and putting your goals together and starting getting these thoughts, think about each one bring one as your theme, because I know that that's what I'm going to be telling you probably in March when I get back from International Assembly as one of his initiatives. So if you could include that, that would be awesome. And then just a reminder that the next meeting that we have is scheduled for October 14th. That is going to be that is the second Wednesday of the month. I know that some of the third Wednesday of the month is causing some conflicts, but that's the second Wednesday of the month, October 14th, 5 p.m. And we're going to talk about service projects. And so, which is very, I think very appropriate. And I know that a few of you were able to attend the session, the district assembly on the fall assembly Saturday. And there were some great ideas, as Jenny mentioned. So we'll talk about service projects next month. So your binders, your binder is as you're like, what? There's no more pages in my binder. I'm printing those now. Actually, Craig Maxi's printed those. I need to pick those up. I will have those probably in the mail to you on Monday. So I would expect you to get the next set of your materials early next week. And if you don't have it by next Friday, shoot me an email because clearly it got lost, and I'll send it again. So does anybody have any questions? Again, thank you, AGs, for being here. Thank you, Dana. Thank you, Rick, for hosting. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Terry, from the Short North Club for being here as the membership chair. We really do appreciate that. And certainly I appreciate all of you, President-elects, as you continue to take time out of your schedules to make your clubs better. So we have a great opportunity. Rotary opens opportunities, and you know, we're going to take advantage of it. I know you guys are going to do great. So until next time, I'm here for you. So if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out and talk to me or talk to your AG. With that,
Jenny.
we're done.
Oh, Mary Jane.
Yes, yes.
What's about with the balloon?
Everybody asked me that question. It's actually not a balloon. It's a Japanese lantern. So my husband's birthday was in July, and I decorated the back porch with a bunch of Japanese lanterns, and there were some left over, so I just put them in my room because I liked them. So that's a great conversation piece. I've gotten multiple questions about that. Yeah. So thank you for asking, though.
Oh, you're welcome.
Bye. Bye-bye,
Yoo-hoo.
everyone. See ya. Thanks, Rick. Thanks, Darla.
No problem. Have a good one, MJ.
You too, Rick. Thank you.